Hooray! We're live. We're live. Let's have a look. We're playing with live. Hey, we've got live. I think we went live early. You're live. From the dungeons of the loft, live on YouTube. What have we got here? We've got buttons and stuff. Buttons. Camera buttons. Live. There we go. Chat, chat, chat. Chat, chat, chat. Question, question, question. YouTube. YouTube. ADB Fishing. Evening, buddy. How you doing? We're live. We've got one person. I'm not on my own. Never done this before. It's my first time. Go gentle. Another one's joined the group. 4. Numbers are starting to count. We'll give it a couple of minutes just to see what's going on. Glad you could keep me company. I appreciate it because it felt a little bit lonely for a minute then. All good. Give it a couple of minutes and I'll start cracking on. I'm not expecting a lot of people, to be honest. I've never done this before. No one's seen me go live before. So I'm in the dungeon that is the loft. See the skylight behind me? It's where I do all my editing. But yeah, it's all good. We're up for a couple of minutes now. I'll let it run to about 3-4 minutes, and then I'll start going into a few bits and pieces and start discussing a few topics and stuff that I thought might be worth discussing. So if anyone's got any specific questions, evening Mark Watkin, nice to see you, mate. Nice, thank you for joining me. If anyone's got any specific questions they want to kick off with, but I've got a few bits and pieces I'd like to discuss. So while we're just waiting for a few other people to join, if anyone's got any bits and pieces they're interested in, any bits or pieces that they'd like me to sort of clarify, stuff that they don't see on the channel, I'm more than happy to answer your questions. If there's anything you'd like to know. What got me into YouTube? That's a good question. So this is all new to me. So the channel's only been running for about 6 months. And having spent a lifetime on, evening Stephen, a lifetime on and around the sea and fishing as a kid and all through my adult life, I've never filmed anything. And to be honest, I never really took any pictures. So I've got no photographic history of what I've done previously. And my brother, you've probably seen the video. It's I think it's possibly the first video we put out. My brother Richard and I decided to go to Chesil Beach and try for a shore caught cod. Never caught one from the shore before. And it was a bit momentous. It's a bit of a unicorn thing for me, that. I've never caught one before. So we thought we'd film it and put it on YouTube. And we enjoyed it. I enjoyed filming. I enjoyed talking to the camera. It seems to be something I manage. Don't particularly think I'm good at it, but I can do it. Yeah, so we went to Chesil Beach. We both caught a cod that night, put it on film, and absolutely blew me away. 17,000 views so far, and the channel's been running 6 months. I thought I could share what I do, not just share what I do, but maybe help people that are at my sort of standard, and that is a relatively low standard, you know. I enjoy going to the beach, might as well share it. share it, put it on camera, smash it on YouTube. Mark Walters, what bike have I got covered in the garage? Scott Harris, how you doing, buddy? Right, motorbikes. I've been waiting for someone to question what's under the cover in the man cave, because there's stuff in the man cave. Let me just lower this down a little bit. So I have got an Africa Twin DCT. For anyone that doesn't know their motorbikes, that's a fully automatic motorbike. And I've also got a Husserberg. And Husserberg's quite a rare thing for motorbikes. Not many of them kicking around. So all my sort of stuff's off-road. Long distance, travelling through Europe, and off-road, Salisbury Plain, green laning, that kind of thing. So that's what's hiding under the covers, with loads of security on the doors and alarms and buzzers and shotgun barrels pointing at you and all that. I haven't, but I have. Yeah, so I've got 2 motorbikes in the garage, both off-road biased, one long distance travelling and one for hooning around on the green lanes. Quick question then, I think it was Scott just popped up. I'm struggling with keeping track of the messages on here because I can't actually see the history of the messages. I'm new to this. When am I going to get my boat? So part of the reason for doing this live is to give regular followers a bit of an idea of what I'm doing and where I'm going, because it may seem a little bit random, but I've got a master plan. I've got a master plan of what I want to do. And if I briefly explain that, I used to, as a kid, do a lot of coarse fishing, carp fishing, river fishing, grayling, trout. I've been a fluff chucker, you know, fishing for trout with my Orvis reel, rod and reel and all that kind of stuff. But I love beach fishing. I love the elements. I love being out. I love the coastline. I love being near the sea. And I love the uncertainty of beach fishing. And I love catching things like rays, you know, things that are a bit unusual, a bit different. So I'm going to carry on with the channel with a plan. And the plan is the beach fishing's never going to go away. I love beach fishing and that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to buy a boat. I've bought the fishing wagon. The fishing wagon's parked outside now, and I'm going to do a whole playlist series where I'll convert that, not into a camper van, because it's not going to be a camper van. If I wanted a camper van, I would have bought a camper van. I want a utility van that's set up and geared for fishing. What's that got to do with a boat? It's got the roof rack already on it for a kayak. You might see what's going to progress here. I'm going to do this whole year, following on from last year, all beach fishing. Then I'm going to creep in some kayak fishing, possibly some sib fishing. I'm going to do a 16-foot boat series, and then I'd like to buy a charter boat. I'd like to be a charter boat captain. So if YouTube is one thing for me, evening Stu, nice to see you, buddy, even though I can't see you and we're socially separated. I would like to be a charter boat. I'd like to run a charter boat in the Solent. And if that's possible, if that takes 3 or 4 years and my YouTube channel gives me a customer grounding, happy days. I fished the Solent all through my childhood. I'd have to learn it again. Things change, charts change, you know, conditions and places and all that kind of stuff changes. If I can build a customer base that would be interested to spend time with me on a boat and my local fishing areas, does anyone want to go work? Or would everyone prefer to do something they absolutely, truly love? And I love doing this. I love doing it and I love sharing it. If it means making you a bacon sandwich, making you a hot brew and parking my boat where you're going to catch a fish, brilliant. Happy days. If later this summer and the restrictions lift and a couple of you, all of you, some of you would like to come and meet me, I set up a barbecue, make you all a brew, and we chat about beach fishing, happy days. I'm all for that. And we're going to do that if the restrictions lift. Scott, I know we talk quite regularly, and I do appreciate you do follow the channel, and you're one of my best supporters. I think that's the ethos, isn't it? Share it, enjoy it. I love it. If you're watching this, you must enjoy fishing, otherwise you wouldn't have found the channel in the first place. But I think a few people missed the trick. They missed the trick where, hi Kyle, favourite bait. I'll come back to the bait in a sec, Carl. I'll just finish off my train of thought here. If we can all share a bit, teach each other a bit, meet up, discuss, chat, socialise, fish, go out on boats. It's what it's all about, isn't it? It's what it's all about, and it's good stuff. Good question there about bait. So I realise that when these questions bounce around, I might bounce around because my brain sort of works that way, and I hope you keep track with us. So baits, I love bluey. Bluey is an amazing bait. Bluey and squid, not necessarily together, bluey or squid, or bluey wrapped in squid. Bluey is so oily, even when you wash your hands out afterwards in the bucket, there's a whole sheen of oil all over the water in the bucket. And squid, I don't seem to not manage anything. I think everything likes squid. I don't know if everything in the sea eats squid. Everything seems to like it if they find it. So to answer your question, it'd be bluey number 1, closely followed by squid. And if I was playing top trumps with cards on baits, it'd be bluey wrapped in squid. And that is my absolute favourite, I suppose. And it's a cracking bait. Thumb size, yeah, that sort of size. Gets quite soft, so I use baiting needles and bait loaders. I use a lot of elastic. Some people question the amount of elastic that I use, but the elastic always comes back. The elastic doesn't stay out in the sea, even if the crabs and the whiting and the tings get at it. The elastic's always there. I've always got to cut it off, and it goes in my little bag and it goes in the bin on the way home. So yeah, bluey. Bluey first, squid second, I think, is my favourite. But if you was to do the educated fisherman type thing, it's whatever's there. There's no point chucking, I don't know, a ragworm into somewhere where nothing sees a ragworm. Ain't going to touch it, is it? So I suppose the trick, if I was to follow my trout fishing days, if that makes any sense, is match the hatch. Put in the water on your hook what everything's eating. And it's quite apparent sometimes. Mix and match, chop and change it, start getting hit, and focus on that. Put that bait on. Hardcore fisherman. See that I'm well, and that I'm on. I haven't done this live thing before, so this is a learning curve for me. And as I'm reading the messages that are coming up on the screen, they're disappearing. I want them to stay up on the screen. There we go. That's a little bit better. I've just figured that one out. Yeah, so I just lost track then on my last question. Oh yeah, so hardcore fisherman. Nice to see me, and I'm well. Yeah, I am well. I've been designated a key worker, and I use that very lightly. I'm not an essential worker. I'm not NHS. I'm not fire and rescue. I'm not police. I'm not all these frontline people that are putting their lives at risk, and I've got the utmost respect for. But I am a key worker, so I do have to go to work. I can work from home and go to work. Hello, Andy. Andy Scott. Oi, oi. I'm all good, mate. Yeah, so I'm going to work at the moment, but I'm also doing a bit at home. So things have been really busy for me lately. Working from home is actually more difficult for me than working at work. I actually prefer to go to work. But we've got to keep social distancing, keep numbers down, all that kind of stuff. So that's what's happening at the moment. And yes, I am well. I will put my little bit in at the moment. Andy, yeah, so don't start pitching each other. you can do what you like. Yeah, so work's busy. Amazing Fishing UK. Evening, buddy. I was watching one of your videos earlier, actually. Amazing Fishing UK, did you do a running ledger rig? Was it a running ledger rig or a place rig? I think I watched earlier on. I watched loads of YouTube. I love it all. Everyone puts their little spin on things. Yes, running ledger. Yeah, good video that, buddy. I enjoyed that. I watched that one earlier today, actually. Yeah, so I love watching all of it. You know, good, bad, or indifferent. I do need a haircut. This is, right, there is a little bit going on. So this is my lockdown look, the badger look. I haven't had a shave for a while. My hair is obviously, I am going a little bit thin on top, but this is what it goes like when it grows long. And Mrs. W reckons I look like Bill Oddie. Cheeky mare. It's a good job I told everyone about her special sized loo rolls. So the plan for me for this year, it was all planned out. We were going to be silver fox, yeah, badger. Seriously, I'll get distracted when I look at these messages and stuff. But have you noticed as you get older, I go to the barber's and he puts that cape thing round and he starts chopping away and he's doing that, and you're just like, you've been. All right, Stu, evening, buddy. You're getting your hair cut and you look down and he must be sprinkling someone else's silver hair on my cape because it can't be mine. And then I look in the thing and actually, yeah, quite possibly it is mine. What have we got? What have we got? Just try and catch up. Try not to go all the way over the thing. So Stu, I'm catching up with the messages that have just come up. Sweet Corn Kid. So I will pitch now, Sweet Corn Kid. He's a good lad. He's my mate. He's my fishing buddy. If you've got time, and even if you haven't, go over, have a quick search on the old YouTube and find the Sweet Corn Kid. He's got some cracking videos on there. He helps me out loads. He's taught me loads. And even though he's a bit of a... he's a good lad. So if don't leave here, stay here. But after you've been here, go and have a look at Stu's channel and go and check out some of his stuff. It's there's some really good stuff on there. Even if he's pinched some of it for me, or if he's been on one of my videos, you know what I'm saying. Go and have a look at Stu's. It's really good. Let's have a look. See what else we got. I don't need a haircut yet. You haven't got that much. My beard. This is the best bit. My beard's grown quicker than my head hair, so I might do that full upside down thing. Know when you shave your head but leave your beard. And see how that goes. Let's see what else we got. Stu, sorry you're late. Have you missed much? Story of your life there, buddy, innit? Turn up on time. What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? What else we got? Andy Scott. Andy, I'm really curious, buddy. There's a cracking picture in your thumbnail and all the rest of it. What part of the country are you from? Whereabouts are you fishing? Give us a heads up on where you're at. Oh, Stephen Morris, cracking question. Have you got your Bluetooth mic yet? Look what's on here. We're wireless. There's no microphone up on this camera or anything at the moment. How many rigs have I tied during lockdown? I'll come back to that one in a minute. I've got my wireless mics. It says picture the scene. You got me on camera and I'm fishing away and I'm beavering. And then as you turn away to do something else, everything goes quiet. Or when it's really windy and you go to walk to your tripod, all you can hear is and all that kind of stuff. Not anymore. Wireless microphones. And the other part, so I don't knock it about, is attached to the camera. And between the two, there's nothing. Technology, eh? So Bluetooth mics. Absolutely amazing. So it's all been a bit adventurous lately, isn't it? So I've bought microphones, reels and triggers. I'll come back to you in a sec, Danny, with that one. Evening, buddy. And I'll vlog that one. I'll come back to that one in a sec. So wireless mics. Wireless mics have been bought, and the fishing wagon's been bought. Fishing wagon's worth a little bit of a chat on its own, I reckon, in a minute. Likewise, so are the plans for what's going to happen this year. If you're worried what this might be, it's a fruit-based beverage designed for ladies. So I just need to quickly zip back and find that message. Reels and trigger. Good question, Danny. So, Pen Surf Blasters. Absolutely amazing reels. I can't fault them in any way, shape or form. The only mark on any of it is where I dropped one. And apart from the marks where I dropped it, and even then it fared quite well, they've been absolutely amazing. I absolutely love them. They're brilliant. So Pen Surf Blasters, and I'm running braid all the way through. £87 braid. And you're like, what on earth are you running £87 braid for? Because I bought £87 braid because we were going to Scotland to fish for £100 skate, common skate. I had a boat trip jacked up and we had a fishing mark to fish. 3 of us were going, purchased the fishing wagon, done all, or I was in the process of purchasing the fishing wagon, all to support what we were doing. Oh, Alan, yeah. Fruit-based drink designed for ladies, mate. If you watch Al Murray, is wine. And I'm drinking wine. Don't ask why. It's because I've run out of rum. I've run out of rum, but I'm saving the beer for later. Yeah, so I'm not running a leader. I'm not running a leader, £87 straight through, and we were going to be running with £150 rated rigs for the common skate. I was going to go out on a boat, and I had a message come through on the phone. Been out on the boat, this is what you missed today, blah, 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 blah. We call everything from £20 to £160. And he sent me a picture with 2 guys on at the same time, £100 plus skate. So I'm a bit devastated that I've missed that for now. Yeah, you're right, Scott. No leader, no weak points. That was the whole mentality with that one. If you've got £100 plus fish on, you don't want any weak points. You don't want any additional knots, any terminal tackle. You don't want anything that could possibly let you down when you've been onto a fish for 2 hours. It takes an hour and a half to get them off the bottom, and then you've got to get them up 300 feet. So, yeah, that is still on the cards. We're still going to go to Scotland. The fishing wagon will have its full first run out, and stuff in between. There's loads of stuff in between. Someone mentioned hounds, and I'm just going to have a quick look to see, have a quick scan back through. Right, so ADB fishing, talking about hounds queuing up. I've got peeler crab already in the freezer. I've totally respected the lockdown or the restrictions. Lockdown's not a very good description, to be honest. And before it happened, I was starting to collect peeler crab, and I was going to do a little film on peeler crab, and it's not really come to anything because I haven't got enough and I can't film collecting. But there's a place local to me where I found a few, and I'll just collect them. But you don't need peeler crab. You only need hardback for the hounds around here. So my 2 buddies, Colin and Clive, they're going to teach me the ways. Teach me the ways of the hound. And there's some good spots around near where I live. I live on the south coast, central, right below the M3 on the M27. I live about 2 miles away from the coast. So there's some really good places for hound fishing near where I am. And I hope that the restrictions lift before the hounds really start coming on, because that'll be one that I would be a little bit devastated. Jamie Wills, squid best bait I found for the hounds around North Wales. It's definitely hardback crab round here. Hardback crab with half of their legs bound with elastic, hook through the body, and set your drag, because you'll get a screaming reel, and they tend to take it quite hard. Yeah, caught more hounds on hardback than peelers. I like peelers for bass and a few other bits and pieces, but yeah, you're quite right. I think hardback is the way to go, but I like having peelers in the freezer because I like it for other stuff. It's a bait that covers other aspects as well. And just see what other bits I've missed. Hardcore fisherman, nice to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining me. And you know, if you got to go, babe, you got to go. But it's nice for you to have joined us. And I'll catch you sometime soon. And let's have a look. See what else we got. Jamie Wills, yeah, it's squid all day for you. Squid's a cracking bait. You can't go wrong with squid, can you? Scott likes crab, and this is where we've all got our own bits and pieces, isn't it? We all prefer our own thing. ADB fishing, he likes the hardback over peelers. I think that's the train of thought for my local area as well. And Scott Harris, cracking hounds in Porthcawl, South Wales and West Wales. I want to fish Wales this year. I haven't hardly done any fishing around Wales, and I'd like to get there. So that is one of the things that was on my tick list that I haven't quite got. Right, so rod and rucksack. So you're going to have a crack for them crayfish when we're allowed out. I've been looking at Rod and Rucksack's YouTube channel, and he did a recent one on catching crayfish, and I've got a spot where I know there's crayfish. I've seen them through the water. You can actually see them, chalk stream, and you can see the crayfish. I would be doing the trout fishery a favour if I went and caught some of the crayfish that are there. I'm going to give that a go. I've never done it. I quite fancy giving it a go. I'm not really into the foraging, catch and cook type thing. I'm all about the fishing. Hayling Island, great for hounds on hardback crab. Mark Watkin. Got a little bit of story about that sort of area. So about a year, 2 years ago, a friend of mine at work, he had a Dutch barge, and it was in Chichester Harbour, for want of a better word. And obviously it had a little gangplank and to the dockside. He was walking across the gangplank one morning. There was a 5-foot shark led along the side of his boat. 4.5, 5 foot was his description. Now, I truly believe that was a taupe that was in pup, that they come in to breed or to not spawn, because they lay. I don't know if they lay live or purses, but whatever they do, he was walking across his gangway, and in a couple of feet of water next to his boat was a 4.5, he reckons 4.5, 5 foot fish. It had to be a taupe. Couldn't be anything else. Long, streamlined, sinewy looking shark was his description. But yeah, amazing. So there are amazing creatures all along our coastline. You look at the rays. Rays absolutely fascinate me. Absolutely fascinating. They're amazing creatures. Fishy family, how are you get? You got to be careful how you say that, you know. And I'm pretty sure that must be deliberate. Fishy family, you know, there's only 2 things that smell of fish, and one of them's fish. So how am I getting on with the van? I haven't really I can't use it at the moment. I got it. I've been looking for a long time. Found exactly what I was looking for. It was worth waiting. And what did I get? So I've had Volkswagens in the past. I've had all manner of different vehicles in the past. I wanted the medium wheelbase, medium roof or high roof transit van. It had to have aircon, had to have heated screen, and I wanted the best one I could find. I got one with 68,000 miles on it on a 14 plate. It's amazing. There's no marks on the seats. It's in really good condition, and I've got a whole plan of what I'm going to do with it. It's going to have diesel heating, solar, an inverter. It's going to have my fridge. I've got a portable fridge. I've got a refillable gas bottle. I'm going to fit some water tanks, insulate some of it, not all of it, deliberately. And it's going to be for transporting motorbikes and for fishing. So it's not going to be a camper van. It's not going to be all glitzy with curtains and windows and pretty beds and all that kind of stuff. If I'm going to sleep in it, I'll use a carp bed chair, if that makes sense. That I can just fold up, put against the wall. You fit in a drinks bar. I could fit optics, can I? I think, genuinely, Stu, you've cracking idea straight away. It's burnt straight into my brain. Open the side door and you could have optics. We could have optics for when we're on the beach and we know we're staying overnight. Let's have a look. Trust Stu. He wants me to fit. I'm not fitting barrels in there. I'm not fitting a proper drinks thing. Could put a cocktail bar, I suppose. Jamie Wells, raise up to £15, all on squid. I don't doubt it, buddy. I don't doubt it. You sound like the man I need to speak to in the future. I'm always up for learning. Definitely always up for learning. Hayling Island's good for fishing. Amazing fishing UK. Yeah, I haven't actually filmed at Hayling Island yet. And I was looking the other day. I've got a little notebook, and when things come to me, I'll quickly scribble them down. Specific places to go for fish and areas and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about drink in a minute. And I just quickly write them down, and then I'll refer back to them later on. I'm always like, yeah, every day's a school day, buddy. Every day's a school day. I'm very conscious sometimes. I say and do things on film, and I change my mind 2 weeks later anyway. Change my mind and try something else. Try something else and prefer it. So please, please, please don't ever, think that what I'm doing is the only way, because there's loads of different ways to everything. But yeah, every day's a school day. Right, let's talk about drink. because I'm being a bit of a girl tonight and I am drinking a fruit-based beverage for women, I've spent 30 years getting pub fit. So Stuart Harris, if you're challenging me to a bit of a beachside drink-off, I'm up for that, because I've put in a lot of practice. I'm quite good at it. Many, many years at sea. So I'm waiting for the reply now. Stu's challenging me to a drink-off. Optics inside the van. It's got to be done. No beer barrels though, because you've got clean pipes and do all that kind of stuff. I'm not doing that. What I was going to do, and I don't know if everyone that's tuned in and is looking now has seen the community channel, but we were planning a meet and greet. Transit Dawn, you're on. We were going to do the meet and greet on the longest day. And if the restrictions are still in place, obviously that's going to get cancelled. But seriously, even if the restrictions are lifted and we can fish, socialise but distance and all that kind of good stuff, if that's what we have to do and that's what the guidance is, then yeah, I was going to take the barbecue, the fridge, cases of beer. That was going to be the surprise, not a surprise now. Cases of beer, food and all the other bits and pieces, and just have the van open, do a barbecue, and all have a beer, because that to me sounds like the perfect evening at the beach fishing. Reel the rods in for a couple of hours, have a couple of burgers, have a couple of beers, a bottle of pussers each for the challenge. Right, Alan, if you're drinking pussers rum, you're my kind of man, but has anyone ever heard of Tiki Fire? Tiki Fire is 150%, it's £40 a bottle. That's the real stuff. Either that or it's Morgan Spice, Kraken, Pussers, Lambs. You know, I'm not particularly fussy. Never fussy with any of that. But if any of you fancy trying something different and you're feeling a little bit adventurous, what's that about for? I think, are you open to be? Fingers crossed. Yeah, Sailor Jerry. You all know, don't you? You all know what's your targets for this year and when we can fish. Right, so when we can fish, I would like to get up to Scotland, up to Oban, and fish for the common skate. I would like to catch a £100 rod, £100 fish on a £100 rod on a £100 line. Sounds catchy, doesn't it? And that's what I was going to try and do about 3 weeks ago, before the restrictions all kicked in and all the rest of it. So common skate was the first one, and that was planned for early in the season. Looks like it's going to be later now. That's the furthest you think. Bring some home brew rum down. That's a dangerous game if you're distilling your own rum. Don't set fire to your garage. So what else were we planning on doing? Common skate, the hounds, trying to go through all the different species of rays on camera. We've managed the spotted and the small eye so far. The simpler ones of, we did put a thornback on, but he was a babby. A decent undulate. Stu had a cracking undulate earlier in the year. And the blondes. If we can get a blonde on camera, yeah, you all know, they're not easy to catch. They tend to be significant sizes if you do manage to catch one. I've got 2 marks that I'm going to try. And it's all about the restrictions, isn't it? I'll be out there fishing tonight. Filming, chasing something. So, species. Hounds, rays, common skate, conger. Got to do a conger trip at some point. We haven't put conger on the channel yet. And we're going to do that in more than one location, because we've got more than one location for the conger. There's loads going on. Stu caught a lovely bass only a few weeks ago, just before the lockdown. Haven't put a big bass on camera yet. Haven't put a place on camera yet. So there's anything you haven't seen, I will be chasing. And I'll do my best to get them on camera. And that's where you guys come in, really. A significant size blonde. So are you talking about fish now? Well, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, significant size blonde. You've got to go careful. They're dangerous. South Coast Species Hunt sounds awesome. Yeah, definitely. Need to start ticking off the boxes, getting the fish on camera. days make me doubt whether a 6-hour trip was worth it for 2 pouting. Right, so is this for Chesil, is it? Are we starting to talk about whether or not it's worth Chesil? Chesil's a cruel mistress. She can be a cruel mistress. And, you know, you've got all that beach, 18 miles of beach, and the best advice I can give to anyone is go where people aren't. So if you've got a line of 20 people either side of you, to the left, to the right, all got a couple of 3 rods out, all the fluff chuckers are there spinning for mackerel and doing all that, get as far away from them as you can, because you will not catch. You'll get lucky and you'll pick up the odd fish in between all those, but if you're in between all those, you've got to do the shingle trudge. You've got to do it. It's pointless otherwise. And you want, if you think there's room for 5 or 6 anglers between you and the next person, you're probably too close. Because you just got to get that distance. Get that distance, and your bait be the only one in the water that's not going to confuse. Fish the Bristol Channel instead. I'd love to. I'd love to fish the Bristol Channel. So one of the places I'd figured for trying this year, possibly in the summer, was East Breen. Did I pronounce that right? Breen Beach. Andy Scott, where did you get your knife sharpening kit? I'll put a link. When I did it, I'm pretty sure I put a link in the description. It is a well purchased. If you look for Lanksy, can't remember which way round it's spelled, but it's LAN, either SK or KSY. Lanksy sharpening system, and buy the little stand as well. Has some good catches in that night on certain parts, casting over 50 yards, puts you over the fish, over 50 yards. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Chesil needs a little bit of distance. If you put a bit of distance into it, you tend to, and I don't, is it because it's such a, I've dived Chesil Beach as well. I've done a drift dive along Chesil Beach, and it's quite an interesting place to see, because it almost goes instantly deep and then levels off. But all the debris is within the first 30-40 yards from the beach. I don't know if that's where the tide pushes it against that shelf. And then when you get past that, it sort of clears, but it clears in a nice way where there's still structures and bits and pieces. And so I totally agree. I think 50 yard plus, if you're fishing inside 50 yards, I think you're fishing with fish heads for conger and a lucky bass and things like that. But that's a personal opinion. But I think you've got to be 50 yards plus at Chesil. If you're fishing for blondes, you've got to be 100, 120, possibly even 150 yards out, because they don't like it too close in. So what else have we got? Let's see if I can catch up, because I've probably missed stuff while I've been jibber-jabbering away. Alan Evans, 12 years in Weymouth. You're a lucky guy. I love Weymouth. Weymouth is an absolutely beautiful place. Andy, I think I've answered the question about the knife sharpening kit. That knife sharpening kit, seriously, the reason why I put it on camera is because it's fail-safe. It is really good. You won't be disappointed if you get one. Worth spending a little bit of money on it. Mark, fish the Bristol Channel. I'd love to. Scott Harris, Chesil is something you've got to say you've done at least once. I'd argue that a little bit. I'd say you've got to do it a few times, because I don't think you can ever do it any justice just going once. If you go once and you don't have a good session, you've missed out. You've missed a trick. You've probably been too close to someone else, or you were using the wrong bait on the day, and that can work anywhere, doesn't it? But when you tune into Chesil, it's a cracking venue. It is a really good one. How did you get on with a casting coach in our area? Haven't done any casting yet. The lockdown stopped it. So I was in conversation with a casting coach to go and do some casting tuition. I can do different bits and pieces. I like the long rods and off the ground. I like just thumping it, overhead thump. I'm not too keen on pendulum casting, to be honest. But I'm willing to learn. And the casting coach that I was talking to was happy for me to film it. So you could see how bad I was and whether or not I improved. When I used to do the fly fishing for the trout and lakes and ponds and all that, and rivers and stuff, it took me ages to get that right. I didn't go for a few months, and I started off back at the beginning again. Quite difficult to master that one. Right, so Alan Evans, triggerfish off the wreck off the Royal Adelaide, needs 100 to 120 yard cast. I don't doubt that at all. And that's the kind of knowledge I love. You talk to someone, they give you something really specific. So I'll challenge you even further, Alan. Google satellite picture and put a pin where you think I need to put my bait. If you can send me a picture like that, I'll give it a go. I'll put it on camera, I'll try. Never caught a triggerfish before. That'd be an interesting thing to put on camera, wouldn't it? That'd be amazing. Or even better still, Alan, meet up with me. I'll watch you catch one and put you on film. Where are we? So casting, well, I think we've discussed. Weymouth, Alan, you're a very lucky guy. Andy, we talked about the knife and the sharpening kit. So that's all good. Diver as well. Now you're talking. I have a few free diving scuba videos on my laptop. Did you dive the Adelaide off Chesil? I've picked some nice crab and lobster. Right, so nearly all my diving, I'm very lucky, was all around the world. So I was in the Navy, and I was a ship's diver, which is a low grade diver. You got proper clearance divers. They're the real hardcore guys, and then you go into all the special forces people and all that kind of stuff. But I used to dive underneath ships. But I've dived underneath ships in Sydney Harbour, Manila, Fiji, Bangkok, Singapore, loads of places. But I've done a drift dive on Chesil Beach, and one of my best ones was just outside of Portland, just outside the breakwater in Portland. That was amazing. But yeah, not so much, what's the word, recreational diving. I haven't done that much recreation diving. In fact, probably count in the low dozens my recreational dives. But yeah, loved it nonetheless. Seeing it from a different aspect underneath as opposed to being on top. It's totally different. Gives you a whole new perspective on things. No long rods anymore, strictly a lure angler. I haven't put any lure fishing on yet either, have I? So we've got some cracking areas near us. River Hamble, that is just absolutely screaming with bass. All schoolie bass, all pretty much under £2, although there are some clunkers mixed in amongst them. But yeah, lure fishing, jigging, boats, all that kind of stuff. We've got loads of stuff we can cover on the channel. Loads of it still to come. I'm looking forward, I'm getting excited for when we start doing some of the boat stuff as well. There will always be beach fishing on my channel though, because I absolutely love it. West Wales, Pembrokeshire. Scott, I bet you got some cracking fishing near where you are. Some nice crab and lobster off there. Yeah, we used to go off the Isle of Wight and get scallops. Used to like doing a scallop dive. We'd drop a shot line down and just go down the shot line with a net bag. When the net bag was full, come back up to the boat and go and have scallops on the barbie. Let's have a look, see what else we got. I want to fish the Bristol Channel. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy, and local knowledge is everything. So if anyone feels that they can help us out in the near future, possibly when the restrictions lift, I'd love to nip up in the fishing wagon and go and do some fishing in the Bristol Channel. I think we've covered all the questions so far. I've been gibbering and jabbering on for a while, haven't I? I know if we still got Stu, he's gone a bit quiet since I challenged him to a bit of a drinking contest. I may be sipping and poking my little pinky out with the fruit-based beverage for ladies, but I'm just warming up for later on. Because it's Friday night and it is International Party Night. You get some practice in. Now, does that mean you've got your rod and you've dropped it in the toilet in the hope that you might catch something, or are you having a little drinky as well? I missed something then, something else come up. What PBs do you want to catch this year? I suppose the most important question, really, seriously, I want to catch a variation. And I haven't had a blom ray before. I've not caught a blom ray. What else haven't I had that I was going to try and target? I haven't had a big conger from the beach. We used to pull them out from the boat, but I haven't had one from the beach. So I wanted to target them specifically, and I'm very conscious that other people have done certain things, fishing harbour walls, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I've got a few little ideas in my mind, but I'd like a big conger. When I say conger, I mean 15, 20, something like that, from the shore. I'd like a blonde. I think everyone would like a blonde, a significant blonde. I don't think you can have an insignificant blonde. And I'm just happy. I don't know if you gather from the channel, it can be the size of my bait and 3 inches with a flippy floppy tail. I don't care what it is. I do like getting PBs, like we all do. It's sort of like a little epiphany moment. The small-eyed recently was the biggest small-eyed that I've caught. The spotted earlier was the only spotted that I've caught from the shore. If I could get, I think, a blonde this year, that would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. My two buddies, Colin and Clive, waiting for a flippy flop. I was going to get it in, mate. I was going to get a flippy floppy tail in, 3 inches and a blonde. Significant blonde, don't forget. Thick as a Coke can and twice as short. The yeah, so I don't know. Honestly, I'm just no, I don't go fishing to beat PBs, to be honest. And I think that's where I'm going with this. I just genuinely love. If you see my face, like the part that you don't see on camera quite regularly, and Stu will testify to this. My little face lights up if I get the smallest jingle, and I know it's going to be a 3-inch ting. It doesn't make any difference to me. Sometimes there's relief when you catch something and it can be that big. Yeah, it makes no difference. There's nothing worse than fishing for 4 yeah, I do 4 hours and you're like, mate, this is getting desperate now. I'm willing to try anything. Had the shore caught conger wreck off Portland, £60. That is amazing. I bet that was a big old scrap, because fishing from the shore is different from a boat, isn't it? Once you get it off the bottom and it's got no escape route, whereas with the shore it's always got an escape route, so it's a whole different fight. I'm not going to get all emotional about it, but I just believe that, you know, sometimes fishing from a boat is the easy route. You know, you can put yourself exactly where stuff is, or you know where it might be. Beach fishing, you're searching out, you're looking at low tide, you're looking for marks and all the rest of it. What's your longest fishing session been? That's a good question as well. If I'm completely honest, days. I've spent days at it. But that's not really what you're asking, is it? So when we did the cod trip down to Chesil, we were determined we weren't leaving until we caught one. One of us was going to catch one on camera. That's what I wanted, to at least put one cod on camera. And we both caught one that night. Codling. I'm not going to exaggerate it. They weren't huge cod, they were just codling. So we both caught one that night, and we got there tea time-ish, and we left next morning. So, I don't know, 12, 13 hours, something like that. Probably about the same sort of time span that you were discussing just then. 12, 13 hours, something like that. And you felt it. And that's where the fishing wagon comes in. So one of you can just reel in, clean your bait off, unhook your trace, go and get in the van for a couple of hours. Go and get in the van for a couple of hours, get your head down, because it howled it down with rain that night. We were soaked to the skin. And then stripping all your gear off, 7 days in France, because that's 100%, isn't it? It's 24 hours a day with your little blip, 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 blip alarms and your cans of beer. That's how you're going to be after this lockdown. Yeah. I got a funny feeling, because I check, clear my arcs, make sure no one's listening. I've got all my brownie points in. I've been doing all the jobs around the house. So I've decorated the outside, cleaned the gutter in, I've done this, I've done that. I've done all my bits and pieces. When the restrictions lift, you won't see me for dust. I'll be in the fishing wagon, burp, burp, and I'll be off. I'll pick Stu up on the way. Anyone else that wants to burp, burp in the wagon? Chuck all the gear in the back and off we go. Don't know where yet. It all depends on the timing, doesn't it? Whether it's going to be the Hounds or Oban, I suppose. Colin and Clive got their seats booked in the fishing wagon for a trip up to Oban. We've been working on that for a while. I say we. Colin and Clive has done all the background work. Good lads. Good fishing guys they are. They've done all the hardcore research. I was just along for the ride, sort of shotgunned on to the side. But yeah, looking forward to it. I know I'm making a long job of that softy drink, but I don't really want to start cracking cans yet. It looks a bit snaggy, doesn't it? Time to join you and crack open a cider. Yes, Scott. Seriously. It's the old ching. Cheers, buddy. Little pinky finger out. A little. I got my beers in the fridge. What else we got? Yeah, but some big flippy floppy tails up there. Yeah, Clive. Oh dear. It was Clive. There's a little story for you then. So I was fishing pulley rigs, and pulley rigs were my favourite. And I fished hardcore pulley rigs. Didn't like fishing any other. I used 3 hook clip downs and variations and running ledgers and all that kind of stuff. And Clive was like, "Why are you doing all that? Using up and over. They're brilliant." And I had to look at his, and I was like, "Oh yeah, yours are really good." And then he started showing me his weights and the fact that he had all his rigs already made and all that kind of stuff. I was like, "I like that. I'm going to steal it." So I went home, made some the same, kept messaging him on the phone. "Clive, can you send me another picture of that up and over rig you've got?" Your voice, it's so calm. I'll come and read you some bedtime stories. Yeah, so Clive is the one that's responsible for my transition to totally loving the up and over rig. Whatever you drink, defo works. Give us the recipe. I will give you a recipe now. And this is serious, because drinking is a serious game. It's a man's game. If you would like to sit down on an evening and not have to keep getting up and down, and enjoy your drink, here it is. So, a pint glass with 4 shots of rum, a can of Diet Dr Pepper, and 4 ice cubes is a pint. And that saves you 4 trips up and down to go and get another drink. So you can sit and drink 2 pints of rum and go to bed quite happy. I do. I go to bed really happy. That harks back to being on ships and all the rest of it. And you think, well, what's drinking rum got to do with ships? Well, the rum is cheaper than the Coke. And you're only buying doubles, not singles. So 2 doubles and a can of Coke fits in a pint glass. But then you have to drink that at the same speed that everyone else is drinking pints of beer. So when I say I've had a little bit of practice, I've had a little bit of practice. I like it. Or just go and get the wife. If you want to start talking to Mrs. W like that, seriously, you're a braver man than me. Let's have a look. What else we got? I use up and overs when I target hounds and rays, otherwise pulley. Yeah, totally. I think that's where I'm pretty much at the moment, and I always have scratching rigs in my wallet. Let's have a look. Just get there again, please. That's all. I fish up and overs, pulley drops and pulley pen. Okay, going to take pen and paper. Pen and paper. Right. So Amazing Fishing UK. I'll say this once more because it's serious stuff. 4 shots of rum. The better the rum, the better. Dr Pepper, not Coke. People that drink rum and Coke don't realise how good rum and Dr Pepper tastes. It's a taste sensation. It's totally different. I don't know why, but it transforms rum. So 4 shots of rum, Diet Dr Pepper, because I'm getting a bit portly, and 4 ice cubes in a pint glass. It's amazing. You obviously weren't a sun dodger then. No, I was not. No, I was not. I was surface ships all the way. Dr Pepper is lovely. Right, we're going to start talking alcohol now, aren't we? So, if you'd like to make a drink that tastes like Dr Pepper, here's another one for you. So you put in a shot glass, you fill it with Disaronno. You put half Stella, half Coke, and you drop the shot. It all foams up. You neck it in one go, catch the shot against your nose, and it tastes just like Dr Pepper. Let's get back to fishing. Talk about drink anytime. Talk about drink when we're having a drink, when you meet up and we have a drink. Just right, yeah, it definitely is. Or just hug the bottle and a cooler box beside you. Yeah, that's a fair one. I wasn't a sun dodger. No, I wasn't a sun dodger. Scott Harris, just get the wife for you. We've talked about that. You're playing a dangerous game, buddy. That's all the fish we've up and over. Go and take pen and paper. Yeah, you got to take notes. Sounds like I've had a bit too much juice. Not yet, mate. Seriously, it's too early for that yet. Definitely works. Voice is so calm. I'm going to start recording bedtime stories. No, I'm not. I think we're all caught up. Prefer bourbon myself. It's just whiskey that's been in a dirty barrel, isn't it? Got any new tutorials planned? I'm very conscious that I don't know if anyone's seen my tutorials. I always do tutorial / discussions. I'm not trying to teach anyone anything. I really am not. I actually enjoy what I get back. I learn as much, if not more, from the comments and what I get. But I love it when people comment. Some of the videos have got 100+ comments, and every one of them is a peach. Every one of them is a little nugget of information. If anyone else can be bothered to read the descriptions, you know. Straight to you back in again. I went out to see the satellites, but a damp quit. Okay, no satellites. Troy, good evening, buddy. I love your videos. Seriously, I am a trudge addict. So lunchtime at work, I always watch a trudge video, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Is the spelling still Troy, but it's trudges? I don't know. Maybe you can correct me. But yeah, lunchtime. My lunchtime routine is Troy. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, definitely. Troy, I love your videos. I really do. I watch one every lunchtime when I'm at work. It's part of my lunchtime little routine. Always put a Troy video on. And I love the area you live. I used to go there quite regularly. I lived there for myself. I say live there. I don't know if you're Jersey or Guernsey. Lived on Jersey as a kid for a while, and I was on a ship that used to go to Jersey and Guernsey quite a lot. And I think we were sponsored by a lady that lived on Guernsey, and she used to send us stuff and money. And I've got a coat with all nice Guernsey motifs on it and all that kind of stuff. A Musto coat, really nice one. Quite expensive, I think. But yeah, love it. Been there quite a few times. Like it. It's a really nice place. And I love your videos. I love all that. It's so casual when you catch your bass. You catch bass that I would be absolutely ecstatic with. And I see the bend in your rod and it's giving it loads of jugs down and you hoy it in the boat. Yeah, that's really nice. Chucks it back in. Amazing. Love it. I love putting the fish back. Guernsey. But I've lived in Sweden and Germany. That's interesting. So obviously you weren't fishing in Sweden, as in sea fishing, and you'd be struggling in Germany as well, I suppose. Mrs. W out on a fishing trip. So Mrs. W was very adventurous in our early days. We had children quite late. And this isn't too personal, this is just set the scene and all the rest of it. So Mrs. W used to come out in a speedboat. She used to come out on my jet ski. She used to come out on the motorbikes. She's done all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure there's a speed camera somewhere in Derbyshire where she's waving at it as we go past on the back wheel. Maybe a private road, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, used to do all that kind of stuff. We had children, and then she got a sensible head on, you know. Oh, can't have us both on a motorbike, what if we both come off? Oh, can't go out on a speedboat, what if we both have an accident? I understand that. Life's too short, isn't it? Amazing Fishing UK. Yeah, cheers. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm starting to feel it now. We've been on for an hour, and I hope to see you sometime soon. I really appreciate you joining in. Mark, what was Sweet Corn Kid? Yes, please. I'd love to do Sweden. Yeah, definitely. Big perch, Xander and burbot. Burbot, they're the ones they catch through the ice sometimes. I think I've seen that. Yeah. So, yeah. In truth, am I going to put Mrs. Hola, amigo. Hi, Carl. Hi. Am I going to put Mrs. W on camera? I might catch her out. At some time. And Mrs. is useless on the laptop. Missed the last 20 minutes. You haven't missed much. All it is me jabbering about. Used to have burbot in the UK once. Oh, really? Was that because they just got fished out or something then, Stu? We lost Burbot for some reason. Carl Stokes has been cooking and cleaning. You're very domesticated. And just taking your penny. I've got a mental picture in my mind now. Mental picture, Carl Stokes, penny, with a feather duster and a frying pan. What rod and reel would you like to have and why? Scott, right, another good question, because I've asked myself this one. So I know personal things and all the rest of it aren't really, you know, I'm not going to go too deep into personal stuff, but my nan passed away at Christmas time this year, and the lovely old lady, she left me some money, and I really seriously thought about investing in a pair of Century rods. I know Ziplex and all that kind of stuff, but I really do like the Century stuff. And reels, it changes all the time, doesn't it? I like fixed ball reels, even though I have regularly fished with multipliers. I can fish with them, I cast them. I don't, you know, we all bird's nest and some crack off, but I'm quite competent and I can fish with a multiplier. But I like the fixed ball stuff. So if you was to buy a pair of Centuries, for argument's sake, you're looking at £1,000, £1,200, somewhere in that, depending on what deal you get and that kind of stuff. And if you're looking for a top flight Shimano Aero or Daiwa or something like that, you're looking at the best part of £500 as well. So you're looking £2,000. You're looking at £2,000 for rods and reels if I could get whatever I liked, you know. Fixed ball, you set me up. So I'll explain myself with the fixed balls. It is silly money, Mark. You're not wrong. I don't know if everyone pays much attention to what I'm fishing with at the moment. I'm fishing with a £100 rod, £75 reel, times 2. You know, £200 in rods, £350. You could probably do a tackle box, a tripod, all your terminal tackle, and have change of £450. And you know, and that's buying it all new. Gripper, you're also a fan of Troy as well. Seriously, Troy's the absolute dogs, isn't he? It's brilliant. I love it. It's probably the best fishing channel on YouTube, I think. And I don't say that lightly. I do like it. It's good stuff. Ziplex M4 Evo and Century T100 paper. Yeah, absolutely. All of that stuff. If people can pick fault in that spec price rod, I think they're picking fault for the sake of picking fault. I struggle to pick fault out of my £100 rods. You know, they do what they're meant to do if you look after them. Some people don't look after their kit, do they? And they start picking fault in the way the finish is and this and that. I don't know. I'm not going to slate anything, to be honest, because I think there's a market for everything. You can go and buy a £20 beach caster off of FaceBay, is it? Facebook selling pages or whatever. You can go and buy yourself 40 quid's worth of fishing gear and go and catch some decent stuff off the beach. Lure set up £350. Yeah, no, that's fair though, Alan, because if that's what you get your enjoyment out of, even owning something like that, you know, you covet it and you're like, oh, and you love it and it's what you wanted, and anticipation's a lot of it, isn't it? If you've saved up for something and you really want it, you save up and you wait, getting it's almost an anticlimax, isn't it? But if you use it and it's good, then that's amazing. A market for everybody. Yeah, definitely. Carl, I totally agree. If people want to spend a lot of money and, you know, enjoy the ownership, brilliant. I got no issues with that. I haven't ridden one of my motorbikes for 6 months. Why have I still got it? Because I like it. Often we'll set around at 50 quid. Definitely, Troy. I totally agree as well. My brother's brilliant at that. He will scour the for sale ads and spot something. He'll buy a bundle of 3 rods because they're cheap and they're 45 quid. And he'll have a £100 rod in there that he spotted. I think Stu did something like that recently. You know, he got some stuff and there was something really nice in amongst all of it. I love a fixed sport. Let's have a quick look. I missed that one. Yeah, Jamie, you got some nice kit there, buddy. I recognise everything you're talking about there. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's all nice stuff. That's all good stuff. Hardcore fisherman, fixed ball, multiplier, flounder fishing. I used to use a pair of 11-foot rods, soft tipped, with really light and I only think I used to put £10 line on. When I used to fish for flounder, local to me, yeah, if you break it, you're gutted if you break it. And yeah, when I dropped one of my cheapy reels, I was devastated. I used to fish with 11-foot rods, lightweight multipliers, and I think it was 10 or 12 pounds, because I wasn't hard casting. You know, you could overcast the flounder. The flounder used to fish the waterline coming back up. And those rods were brilliant. I used to catch, and this is no exaggeration, these days are long gone. I think some of my best sessions were 2 dozen flounder. Yeah, and I used to put them all back. I never used to keep any of them. Sonic Vaders for understanding, yeah, definitely. If you can pick up, there's second-hand deals out there, aren't there? If you don't have to buy new fancy kit, you don't have to buy new fancy kit, and you know, one person's rubbish is another man's treasure, isn't it? It's all perception. You've seen what I've caught on photograph. Yeah, freshwater rods. Stu, you're using freshwater rods. Yeah, you can't knock any of this. As long as you've got a bait in the water, you're in with a chance. Clive, new rods. I know you've been looking for rods, haven't you? And you've been looking for spools for your reels. Be interesting to see what you end up with. Because if we do get up to Scotland, if the restrictions lift and we get up there, we'll do a comparison, won't we? Me with my little Shakespeares, and what you with whatever new fancy rods you get. That'd be good. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to watch. Yeah, I hope you get your spools for your reels, Clive. I know you've been looking hard. They've been, in fact, it might be worth just typing out the question on here in case someone else knows an answer to what you've been asking. Because I don't know. I don't know where you can get your spools from. Troy, yeah, definitely. If you invest a lot of money and you break something, it can be devastating. Let's have a look. Yeah, there is. There's a market for everyone. Yeah. You can pick up Vegas X55 from here, 55. Yeah. You pay for what you want, really. Don't make you better with a deer rod. No. So Jamie, I firmly believe as long as you can get a bait in the water, get a bait in the water in the right place, you're in with a shout, aren't you? You can have the best tackle in the world. If you can't use it, you can't get a bait in the water in the right place, it's pointless having it, isn't it? So I'm not going to get all political stuff like that because, like I say, it's a very personal choice. Clive's going for new reels as well. You're splashing out, buddy, aren't you? What else we got? Right then, fellas, we are at over an hour now. I only really planned for about an hour. I don't know how this has gone. You're more than welcome to comment, and I don't know if it's been of any use to anyone. I don't really think that I'm going to do this too often. I'll keep my workshop videos to 1 a month. I try to keep the tutorials discussions to 1 a month, and I'd like to do at least 2 or 3 fishing a month, and that's a balance I've been trying to get. But the lockdown, the restrictions have made that difficult. What is it? A company called Home and Leisure Auction, eBay auctions. Yeah. But yeah, I think I'm going to start. Really enjoyed it. I love the community aspect it brings together. And to be honest, I really appreciate everyone that's commented tonight, because I've recognised, obviously I know some of the people that have commented tonight, but I've recognised a lot of the names as well. And it's nice to see people that have commented on the channel, that I've spoken to via messaging, and that have joined in today. So, Winston Bass, I'm a tackle tart. We all are. Everyone's a tackle tart. We all love it. It's just whether or not you can afford it. Thanks for joining in, Jamie. I appreciate it. Daniel Roberts, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Troy, thank you. We're not worthy. Hit the like button, lads. Yeah, seriously. Anything you can do to help us out. One thing I will quickly mention just before I zip away, because I am going to zip away because I've got a cold beer in the fridge, it's got my name on it. Yeah, see you later, Clive. Happy to talk on Messenger and all that other stuff, and it'd be good to get out fishing with you again sometime soon. David, cheers, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, some of the viewers don't subscribe. I don't understand why, but if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. Cole Stokes, you're shooting off. Yeah, Rod and Rucksack, thank you very much. Cheers, buddy. Jamie Wills, thank you. Scott, cheers. I'm going to shoot off now, guys. So, be safe. Take care of yourself. Love your family. Take care of each other. Well, When I say love your family, I don't mean that in a dodgy way. Love your family, spend time with your family. And I look forward to spending some time with you soon. Gripper, cheers, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I'll spend time with you soon. I'll get another video out. I'm filming tomorrow, so there is something coming out. I know I've been a bit dry with nothing coming out recently. Love the chat, especially live. Cheers, Gary. Appreciate you taking the time to join us, buddy. Thank you. And I'm going to shoot off now. So this is me signing out. I'll check in with you again sometime soon. Take care. Tight lines. And I'll see you sometime soon. Bye for now.